All right, Doyle, there's something I just can't tell you over the telephone. You'll have to be here to see the whole setup.
Holy cow.
Well, it's nothing, just a little neighborhood murder, that's all. Yes, I did say murder.
Oh, God.
Well, I just thought I'd send a little business your way, that's all. I thought a detective like you would be jumping at something to detect.
I'm not working.
What?
It happens. You my day off?
I made my best pictures on my day off.
I'll come by.
Okay, Doyle, as soon as you can. Oh, bless your heart, Stella. Gee whiz, look at this. You have no idea what a welcome sight this is. No wonder your husband still loves you.
The police.
What?
You called the police.
Oh, not an official call, just a old friend of mine. Just an ordinary old friend of mine.
Now just where do you suppose he cut her up? Of course, the bathtub. That's the only place where he could have washed away the blood. He better get that trunk out of there before it starts to leak. Look, Mr. Jeffries.
I thought Doyle would come by the time the trunk left, or else we'd call the police. Now we've lost it.
Hold everything.
Don't do anything foolish.
I'm just gonna get the name off that freight truck.
I'll keep an eye on the alley.
Didn't see the killing or the body. How do you know there was a murder?
Because everything this fellow's done has been suspicious. Late night walks in the rain, and knives, and saws, and trunks with rope, and now a wife that isn't there anymore.
I admit it all has a mysterious sound. But it could be any number of things. Murder's the least likely.
Now, Doyle, don't tell me that he's an unemployed magician impressing the neighborhood with his sleight of hand. No, don't tell me that.
It's too obvious and stupid a way to commit murder. In full view of 50 windows? And then sitting out there smoking a cigar, waiting for the police to come pick him up?
Well, officer, do your duty and pick him up.
Jeff, you've got a lot to learn about homicide. Why? Murders have been committed so shrewdly that it's taken 100 trained police minds to catch them. That salesman wouldn't just knock his wife off after dinner, toss her in the trunk, and put her in storage.
It's been done.
Almost everything's been done. Under panic. This is still a 1 in 1,000 chance. He's just sitting in his apartment. That man is not panicked.
You think I made all this up?
I think you saw something that has a very simple explanation.
Really, for instance,
Wife took a trip.
wife's been sick in bed.
So you told me. All right, Jeff, I've got to run along. I won't report this to the department. Let me poke into it a little on my own. No sense in you getting a lot of ridiculous publicity.
Thank you.
We know the wife is gone, so I'll try to find out where.
Do that.
You, get any headaches recently?
Not until you showed up.
It'll wear off. Along with the hallucinations. See you around. Six months lease, he's used up a little more than 5.5 months of it. He's quiet, drinks, but not to drunkenness. He pays his bills properly with money made as a custom jewelry salesman, wholesale. He kept to himself. None of the neighbors ever got close to him or the wife.
Well, I think they might have missed their chance with her.
She never left the apartment. Until yesterday morning.
Where is she? The icebox? What time?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. That's about the time I fell asleep.
Too bad. The Thorwalds were leaving their apartment just at that time. Feel a little foolish?
Not yet. How's your wife?
Oh, she's fine.
Who said they left then?
Who went where?
The Thorwalds at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, the building superintendent and 2 tenants. Flat statements, no hesitation. They all jibed to the letter. The Thorwalds were on their way to the railroad station.
Now, Tom, how could anyone guess that? I mean, what, do they have signs on their luggage saying Grand Central or bust?
The superintendent met Thorwald on his way back. Thorwald told him that he put his wife on the train to the country.
I see. This guy seems pretty convenient, the superintendent. Have you checked his bank statements lately?
Huh?
Well, what's good is information? It's a second-hand version of an unsupported story by the murderer himself, Thorwald. Now, did anybody actually see the wife get on the train?
I hate to remind you, but this all started because you said she was murdered. Now, did anyone, including you, actually see her murdered?
Now, what are you doing? Are you interested in solving this case or in making me look foolish?
Well, if possible, both.
Now just do a good job and go over there and search Thorwald's apartment. It's bound to be knee-deep in evidence.
I can't do that.
Well, not now, but when he goes out for a drink or a newspaper, what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
I can't do that either, even if he isn't there.
What, does he have a courtesy card with the police department or something?
Now don't get me mad. Not even a detective can walk into an apartment and search it. Why? If I were caught, they'd have my badge in 10 minutes.
Alright, make sure you just don't get caught, that's all. But if you find something, you've got a murder, and I don't care about a couple of old house rules. If you don't find anything, he's clear.
The risk of sounding stuffy, I'd like to remind you of the Constitution and the phrase search warrant issued by a judge who knows the Bill of Rights verbatim. He must ask for evidence.
Get him evidence.
Yeah, I can see myself. Your Honor, I have a friend who's an amateur sleuth, and, well, the other night, after a heavy dinner, he'd throw the New York State Penal Code right in my face. All 6 volumes.
You know by tomorrow morning there may not be any evidence left in that apartment. You know that.
Detective's nightmare.
Well, what do you need to search? What do you need? A set of bloody footsteps leading up to the door?
One thing I don't need is heckling. You called me and asked for help. And now, you're behaving like a taxpayer. How did we ever stand each other in that plane for 3 years during the war? Alright, I'm headed to the railroad station to check on Thorwald's story.
Don't check the story, find the trunk. Miss Thorwald's in it.
Oh, I almost forgot. There was a postcard in Thorwald's mailbox. It was sent 3:30 afternoon yesterday from Marrittsville. That's about 80 miles from here. Message reads, arrived okay. Already feeling better. Love, Anna.
Is that Anna? Is that who I think it is?
Mrs. Thorwald.
Uh-huh.
Oh, is there anything you need, Jeff?
Might find me a good detective.